Get set, podcast listener, and be ready to win with your mentor, motivator, and marketer, Cam Roberts. Grow your business and achieve your goals quickly with the latest tips, tools, and tactics on business success and marketing. Subscribe now and download your free resources at camroberts.com.au.
Hey everyone, Cam Roberts here, your friend in business, success and marketing. Thank you very much for joining us on the podcast show. Now, today's special guest is Tim Redmond, and Tim is the CEO of Redmond Growth Consulting, an organization designed to help you grow your profits, grow your business, and grow your life. Based on helping thousands of business owners, Tim wants to share practical, actionable, do-it-now principles to help you immediately and significantly grow your business. So, Tim, welcome to the show.
Yeah, good to be here, Cam. That's great. And we're talking from one continent to another one, so this is good.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure there's people listening all over the world as well, so that's great. Good
stuff here. Yep.
Now, look, to kick off, I want to ask you, how did you get into your game? Like, where did the Redmond Redmond Growth Consulting organization start? I've read your background. I know a little bit about you and the success that you've had, but maybe you can share that with some people that, have never heard of you before.
Yeah, just started my career as a CPA working for PricewaterhouseCoopers, was good for 2-3 years with them, then joined another guy that we grew a software company up that we marketed to CPAs, and we grew it up to about a $40 million a year business from scratch, and then we sold that to Intuit, the QuickBooks people. And then I went out traveling around talking about training leaders on how to lead their organizations and how to grow their organizations. And I'd always have people ask me, well, hey, do you offer coaching? And I go, well, sure, what's your question? And sometimes I'd spend an hour with them, and not realizing that there's like a number of multi-million-dollar coaching organizations like we are now. And I'm giving all this advice for free. So, about 10 years ago or so, we switched from a focus from speaking and traveling to really nurturing a tribe of business owners. That we've got about 150 business owners that we coach with on a weekly basis, and we're just getting huge results with them. So
excellent.
That's how I got involved. Yeah.
Very good. And I know there's a lot of business owners that listen to this podcast as well. So let's talk about business owners. Like, what makes a great business, in this day and age?
Yeah, it's if you're a small business, meaning you've got maybe just a handful of employees or just you're on your own, what's really important here is to make super clear what problem are you solving,
right?
And who has that problem, and do you have the solution in a way that turns heads? Like, it's like that purple cow. It's not just a brown or black or white cow. It's like a book that Seth Godin wrote 20 years ago, The Purple Cow. How do you stand out? And so it's really making sure you're clear on who you're focusing on and what problem you're solving. And I like to say this, Cam, that you actually widen your reach by narrowing your focus. And becoming the world's best at something allows you to get access as an expert level to all those people around the world, or, in your country, or wherever you market to. So that's one thing. And I tell you, it's really, really important to have a defined sales workflow. I worked without one, just word of mouth, and got lucky and filled up my coaching slots. And but this is before I really built a team, but I didn't really have a defined sales workflow where, got scripts on each stage and made it real easy for people to move from one stage to another. Once we put that in there, I just blew up from maybe 15 to 20 clients to 100 clients, and had to build a team, and it's really had a lot of good success with it. So
yeah, that's really good. So you spoke about the purple cow. So let's go back to that, because I've read that book, and I'm sure you have as well, but there's probably people going, purple cow 20 years ago, right? But can we just explore that a little bit more? Like someone comes to you and they've got a business, and look, maybe they do solve a problem, but maybe they're not a purple cow. So how does a business become a purple cow?
Yeah. Well, it's really, they don't transform into a purple cow. The purple cow is how they define what they currently do.
Right. Yeah.
So we work with a lot of, in your parts of your neck of the woods, you call them tradies.
Yeah.
We have a lot of contractors we work with. And I remember this one plumber drove into our parking lots, local guy, and he had a sign on his side of his truck. It says, "We wear belts." I go, "We wear belts? What's all that about?" And he goes, "Well, we just have our no butt crack guarantee. We just don't want to show off our butt cracks when we work, and plumbers are famous for that." And so we actually made that part of his purple cow.
Right.
He didn't actually have that guarantee, but we actually formed that. And I say, how about if we have a no butt crack guarantee as the thing that makes you stand out? And people are calling him up, laughing, saying, "You're the no butt crack guarantee guy, right?" Yeah, we are. I mean, I'm sorry if you want to see it. We're just not going to show it off, as beautiful as it is. Well, people are laughing. They said, "We want you to come over and fix our sink or our toilet or whatever it was." So he's grown, he's tripled, quadrupled the size of his business, and it's been a lot of fun as a result of that. So
excellent. It's funny that you use tradies or plumbers in particular. There's one in Australia called the Clean Plumber. And, that's their thing, that because tradies, again, they're known for being messy and leaving your house in a mess, right? So,
right.
These guys promise to leave your house, pristine, clean, and clean up the mess and all that sort of stuff. So that's really good point of difference, isn't it?
It's really good. And so don't be afraid of identifying a problem and making a big promise.
Right.
The 3 P's for selling. You have a problem, you defined it, make a big promise that you're going to provide for that, and then provide proof that you've already solved that problem for 100 other people. Those are testimonials, videos, Google reviews. There's all that stuff that we build on reputation marketing where it backs you up, and it makes the sales process 100 times better.
Yeah, excellent. Now, you've spoken about the sales process a couple of times. You spoke about your own business, your own coaching business that you have scripts for and different stages of the sales process. But I'm going to assume there's a lot of people listening to this that probably haven't got their sales process, refined as such. So what's one or two tips you can give people, or where do they start in regards to making sure they've got a very streamlined sales process in their business? Because you can generate leads, right? But what happens when the leads come in and you don't have a process to nurture them or convert them?
Right. Yeah, or a lack of discipline for just even calling the leads.
Right.
We help our clients get massive leads. It's one of the 4 main tracks that we get them on. Either they need help hiring or need help leading, leads or profitability or setting up systems. So, we dive into that, and the idea is if we can help these contractors, or we can help whoever have a conversation that is not asking for their hand in marriage on the first date kind of thing. I just had a guy call me a couple of weeks ago, and he's actually originally from Australia. He's a good friend of mine. He said, "Hey, I'm trying out this new business, and this guy showed me a system." And I said, "Well, tell me about your workflow." He says, "Well, make the first call, and people are wanting to get off the phone." I said, "Well, how long are you wanting them on the phone?" He said, "Well, the presentation takes about 2 hours." I said, you're wanting people to spend 2 hours and they don't even know who you are, I said, so make it real clear. Take baby steps. Have the first call is to set up a 10-minute appointment. Says, "Hey, if you want to, have some big promise you have, or if you're not completely satisfied with this, or how would you rank your plumber that you use on a scale 1 to 10, And if you want to get a 10 here, or would you be open to having a 10-minute discussion with this plumber and he's got a special offer for you? Well, yeah, sure, I'll give it a shot. And then the plumber gets on the phone. So that's the next step. You have a 10-minute call and the plumber talks about what makes him unique. And we define all these things here, those more purple cow elements of competitive advantages. And we make it real easy to do the next appointment, which is going to their house to do an hour and a half review or a free home inspection, or it may be there's something going on there that want to give them a shot, and they make it really inexpensive for the first visit. So it's having, a step-by-step process to make it easy, that each process of the sales, you're wanting them to say yes to one simple question, not to buy your services, but to have the next easiest thing in line.
Right.
And
Micro commitments, right?
Just small steps until you create enough need and desire for them to say, well, come on out. Why, but you, and with that, you create what we call a no-brainer offer. So you give them an offer as like, well, I don't require any brains to think about that. Of course I would. Normal service fee may be $79. We're going to make the first service call to you $1. So we're out there, and whatever we need to do, we'll just charge a normal rate. But boom, we're going to waive that. And that's a no-brainer offer. Geez, let's make it easy for them to take the next step.
Yeah, right. That's really good. That's really good. So look, once someone gets their lead, they get their client, they get their service, how do they maintain that relationship or nurture that relationship so people call them back, people refer them more business? In your experience, how do you organically make that happen?
Well, you have to have good systems where when they get the service, you deliver what you promise, or you over deliver.
Yeah, right. That's good.
You have an appointment and you show up a half hour late or 2 days late. That's not a good start. You're not nurturing anything that people want to refer your business to other people. And the quality of the service. Do you get callbacks on the work that you did or the product you sold? Is it done in a way where the person feels like a hero, the person feels like $1 million? I'll ask a personal question, Cam. You seem friendly enough. Do you have at least one friend?
Yes, I've got one.
Of course you do. Yeah, I've got one. So, all right. So that friend likes you and you like them. You get along fine, right? But if I were to ask him, well, what is it you like about Cam? And he may go down a list of things, bubbling personality, very positive, got a great smile. He's always upbeat. He's always great encouragement. He may list a whole bunch of things, but when you get right down to it, what your friend really likes about you is they like the way they feel about themselves when they're with you.
Right. Yeah.
And so you want to get like these people that'll just die for your cause and want to spread the gospel of your plumbing or whatever you're working.
Right. That's good.
It's like they've got to feel like $1 million when they're with you. It's how they feel about themselves. So that's a good question, is like, when you're having an interaction with a customer, how do they feel about themselves when they're with you? Did you win the war? Were you right? And you made sure that client paid the full amount here? And see how many times more that client calls you, Hey, idiot, tuning in planet Earth, you got to actually be nice to people for them to want to come back to you, And sometimes you have to be firm. There's people that are unrealistic, but go to your grave being guilty of giving people the benefit of the doubt, rather than going to your grave as being the one that was always right and he always won the argument.
That's really good, Tim.
Life that way.
Yeah, that's really good advice, Tim. Excellent.
And your wallet will probably be a lot thinner than it should be. So
that's really good. So look, we really get that about making sure that people over deliver, provide a good service, add value. And that's okay to say when it's like the CEO or the director of the company. But what happens when a business has got like multiple people working for them, like whether it's a tradie, a service-based business, a dentist, a doctor, a chiropractor, an accountant? Like what happens when there's like 20 of those people? How do you install that into other people?
Well, I tell you, it's the reward and incentive system that you have.
Right.
So there's the pay structure. If it's just an hourly rate, whether you act like a crab or a crank, or you act like, your Mother Teresa with people,
Right.
if you're not rewarded for, based on your behavior, then there's no pressure to improve your behavior. So
Right.
set up an incentive system to incent people for the right behavior, reward them for the right behavior, the
That's
right
really
result.
good.
I would also say that a huge level of satisfaction in a job is specific recognition from the boss, both
Right.
one-on-one and in a group setting.
Yeah, that's good.
So, hey, we're having our team meeting here, and I just wanted to talk about Sherry. Sherry she did a good job. Let's give her a hand. Well, that's stupid. That's too general. But Sherry had a client climbing down her throat, just was threatening murder, was completely unrealistic. She kept her cool, and she got the client talked off the ledge,
Yeah,
and
that's
the
good.
client ended up paying their full amount owed. Here was just, let's give it up for, you get that kind of recognition where you notice the behavior, you notice the extra effort of people, and then you publicly reward that or recognize that. That's going to be a huge element too. A lot of clients that we work with, they have a no incentive, no reward system other than just showing up.
Yeah.
And when you show up and you start doing your job, you get paid. It
Yeah,
doesn't
that's
matter
really
the
good.
quality of the work. It doesn't matter the speed of the work. It's like, I want to run my head into a brick wall here. Come on, you guys, wake up
Yeah.
and reward your people. Make sure that the top performers are making a lot more than the sluggers that you
Yeah,
need to
that's good.
fire anyway.
Yeah. That's really good. Now,
These are
Tim.
things that I know, but I mean, we raised up the software company to over 400 people, and I hired most of the people and
Right.
set up systems for that, and run a number of businesses. And it's just, you can do it if you take time. Sometimes it's good to have a coach that can help you
Yeah,
do that.
right. That's amazing. That's amazing. A quick question, and I want to ask you because it's topical at the time of recording. All around the world, people are talking about countries in recession and interest rate rises and the cost of goods and all that sort of stuff. So, and you've already given us some really valuable insights on how to create a really strong business in any economy. But before we kind of wrap up and we get to the end of the show, are there any sort of little pieces of advice, expertise that you can give people on how to recession proof their business in tough times?
Well, recession proof sounds great. If you want to continue growing, like we went through COVID, and we were locked down, not as severe as some places in Australia, but we were locked down, and we had a lot of our clients say, get off your blessed assurance, knock on doors, call clients, call, prospects, follow up on them. If you sit down, nothing's going to happen. But if you get off your blessed assurance and go after it, you have a chance of more positive things going. So we had a lot of our clients actually grew exponentially during this time because there were so many of their competitors were sitting on their butt.
Yeah, that's good. Good
waiting
advice.
for the storm to pass.
Yeah,
So
good.
so there's always opportunity for those that hustle.
Yeah.
And you may need to be creative. You've got to be persistent and enduring. You have to have a tenacity here, but just, it's kind of like my son Joshua. He's now grown. He's played football, American football. He's built like a Greek statue here. He's got a coaching business for fitness, and but he's 5 years old, and he was just outside the house here. We were in a gated community, and he wanted to set up a lemonade stand, so I agreed to be his his backer, his funding partner with this. So mix the lemonade and all that. He got a little picnic table out there, and it's like the middle of the day, and nobody's driving through our neighborhood in the middle of the day, but he's working, you know. So he's looking around, but he had visions of grandeur, and he goes, you know what? If the market's not coming to me, I'm going to go to the market. So he picked up that pitcher. It's almost as bigger than his body and his cups. And he went door to door to people. He first of all went to a couple doors down. There was these roofers that didn't even speak English that he sold $10 of stuff to. You know, he came back with $13 or $14 in his little five-year-old pocket. You know, he's a little 5-year-old kid. And he just felt like he was a millionaire, you know.
That's good.
Look after it, folks.
Yeah, go out and get it. That's really good. Hey, now, Tim, look, I know you've got to go, and I also have another appointment coming up. So before we wrap up the podcast, for folks that want to learn more about what you do or reach out and connect with you, where can they find you online?
Yeah.
What are the next steps?
Okay, so they can go out to our website, Redmond Growth, REDMOND Growth, GROWTH, or they can email me, Tim at Redmond Growth. It'll come to me. And if they will give you a 5-star review or say, we love Cam, and tie into your show, what we have is a growth plan that these are for business owners only. They have a growth plan that we analyze their business. We find out where they're at, their current active level is at. We build a whole new business model for them on a capacity model. And then we extrapolate that for 3 years out. And then we build a step-by-step plan of how to get out to that 3-year goal here with these 8 or 10 concrete steps. It's so impacting, so powerful that most companies, when they go through it, if they apply these things, they'll add another $100,000 of profit onto their business in the next 12 months. So we used to sell these for $2,500. That's normally what the price is. And but for your clients or for your followers here, if they mention your name or your podcast, we'll waive that $2,500 fee. So
okay, that's really cool.
A whole of us, we walk it through. Even if you want to just have another fresh set of eyes on your business, it's phenomenal. So we want to invite people to do that.
Excellent. And we'll make sure we put all of those contact details in the show notes as well.
Perfect.
All right. Well, Tim, thank you very much for coming on the podcast show.
Great, Cam. Thank you.